What was the stupidest thing you have said, done during sex? My ex is going to town on top of me. We're both having a great time, we're both close. It's about to be one of those magical moments where everybody comes together. He looks me in my eyes and asks if I like that. My stupid mouth decided to say oh yeah like the goddamn Kool-Aid man, and then my boyfriend started laughing so hard he went soft. What the me? Asked high school on-off girlfriend to marry me while mid-climax. She declined. Classic schmosby. For a while I lived with a bunch of slutty roommates. It made for some rather interesting times. We'd set up a bunch of bunk beds in the basement that, while not the comfiest arrangements, did maximize the availability of sleeping spots and allowed us to host large groups. One night we have a rager going on at the main floor. I've got the morning shift though and duck out early. I'm curled up in the top bunk when a roommate comes stumbling in while entwined with a gal. Yay, good on him. Then they flop onto the bunk right below me and I start to die inside. I'm now an unfortunate audience to their sloppy drunken hookup. As the bunk rattles, I realize a friend was also already in a bunk across the room and we lock eyes in mortifying hilarity. He would also bear witness to the roommate's mistake. The couple for the night reach their finale. When the guy mutters good dog, shocked silence follows. Then the gal leaves as I repeatedly mouth what the at my fellow voyeur. Don't remember falling asleep, but I do remember the guy getting roasted for his word choice the next morning. I've sure had my own mid-sex blunders, but nothing like that disaster. I called my boyfriend dad instead of daddy. Me, pops. Before we began, I got up to go grab a condom. The girl was like, just so you know, I'm on birth control. I got the implant. You can feel it right here. Rather than say something like, I just like to be sure or something non-offensive, I looked her dead in the eyes, said, well, I've had a vasectomy. I don't wear condoms to prevent babies. She never called me back. I was a girl once and she asked if I could feel the Mediterranean breeze in her pussy. Stick your ear up to it and tell her you can hear the ocean. First time. Got scared. Halfway through eating her out I had a massive panic attack and locked myself in the bathroom. Pussy so good it put the fear of God in you, boy. I asked about our plans for the day while receiving a blowjob. The answer was half a blowjob. Thanks for the gold. I had just ended a long-term relationship and had barely started dating again when I met a girl on a dating app and we went out for a few drinks. Everything was pretty cool and we had a good time despite me being rusty and distracted by thoughts of my ex. Somehow we got back to my place and started making out. Things got hot and right as we started to take our clothes off she stops us and, in a deathly serious tone, she says, wait, I have something important to tell you. I don't shave my bush. I just laughed out loud cause I thought that was so ridiculous. Like, we're about to get down girl, I don't care about something dumb like that. Except to her, my laughter meant I was making fun of her for not shaving her bush. Before I knew it she was gone in a huff. When I was 16 and very inexperienced, I thought I'd be a little adventurous with my then boyfriend, so I slipped my hand down his shorts hoping to give him a little joy. Except I didn't understand that dicks tend to tuck against one leg instead of floating right in the middle. Cue me patting him frantically and saying with genuine concern, where is it? Didn't live that down the next 2 years of that relationship. Not me, but my ex once drunkenly said my youngest sister's name in the heat of it. Ended things extremely quickly. I am a guy. Getting a BJ. Accidentally farted. Decided to not say anything in hopes of it not smelling like absolute shit. 20 seconds pass. It smelled like someone shit on the floor. Needless to say it ended right there. I knew I needed to marry my girlfriend when after dating for 2 years I confessed to her that I sometimes let out small farts on accident during blowjobs, sex, and she responded with I know. She's a real trooper. My current boyfriend always laughs at this story so I'll share it. When I was in high school my ex-boyfriend was a grade higher than me and he had been asking for a while if we could move things further. After a lot of thought I agreed, and on our next minimum day we agreed that we would go for it. So the day comes and we're in his bed and we had plenty of time since his parents weren't due to be home for at least 4 hours, so we're taking our time and I'm nervous as hell because I don't know what it's going to feel like to have something actually go inside of me. He gets on top and I can tell he's excited and feeling super confident. He goes to put it in and I feel it, but it doesn't go in and it slips between my butt cheeks. Not in my butt, just like a hot dog between the buns. But since we're both virgins, he couldn't tell the difference and I was shy, so I just kinda stayed quiet because I didn't know how to say, hey you're hot dogging right now. I'm pretty much frozen and he's enjoying himself and I'm trying not to laugh. This goes on for maybe a minute or two but felt like forever when he finally says, yeah, how's it feel to not be a virgin anymore? And I blurt out, you're not inside, you're between my buns, and it just got so awkward because I wanted to laugh so hard. Eventually he did get it in, but that will be one of the funniest stories I will ever have. Her: I want to ride you without a condom. Me: okay. You got HIV. Achievement unlocked. I was getting a pre-sex blowjob from my girlfriend and she turned on the TV for background noise and I happened to see that G.I. Joe was on, so I said, is that G.I. Joe? And she choked on my dick laughing, and now it's an inside joke. The current girlfriend and I were hanging out at her apartment. Decided to watch a movie. We both like LOTR a good bit, so we put the Fellowship of the Ring on. After some foreplay, things started heating up. The clothes come off and we start going at it. Keep in mind that LOTR is still playing in the background. We're going about our business and everything is great. And the movie is now to the point where the hobbits are in the bar and Pippin is attempting to get a pint from the counter. Knowing a line that was coming up, without really thinking, she says FRRRODO Baggins loudly, with the most dramatic rolled R I've ever heard. You can hear Pippin say it off to the side right before Frodo goes into a panic. So she just thought it would be funny. She was right. We had to stop for a while until the laughter died down. We now reference it all the time. My husband once turned round to me while we were fooling around and said, put your dick in my mouth. Clearly he wanted his dick in my mouth, but he f***ed it up and I couldn't stop laughing. She said, show me who the boss is. I thought of Tony Danza. Insta shrivel. I used to have a friends with benefits thing with this girl named Angela. After her, I started dating a girl named Andrea. One time I called Andrea Angela. That ended pretty quick. Andrea Angela. Angela evolved to Angrila. First real girlfriend didn't particularly like me going down on her. She was embarrassed by it for some reason, either that, or I was really bad at it back then. One night I started to head south and she pulled me back up and asked why I always wanted to do that. I'd consumed a few adult beverages, and in my slightly drunken state I said the first thing that popped into my head, it's free, and I'm hungry. We broke up a few weeks later. I shouted pound it into me right in his face. For no reason. Scared the life out of him and he flopped in seconds. It haunts me sometimes. We are still together and it's never mentioned, but I burn with shame when I think of it. Said I love you for the first time. Thankfully, we're still together almost 7 years later. Once upon a time I was prescribed sleeping pills to deal with insomnia. The doctor told me they'd take an hour or so to work, so an hour before I intended to go to bed, I took half of one just to see how hard they'd hit me. One thing led to another and my boyfriend and I started fooling around. I completely forgot I had taken the pill and proceeded to get on top of him. After a few minutes I started hallucinating. I was seeing clowns and circus tents. I was completely aware that I was hallucinating but powerless to stop it, so I just kind of went still and said, we have to stop because clowns. One of the first times I was having sex with my first girlfriend, I got a leg cramp mid-thrust and just screamed out my leg. As I nearly flung myself off the bed. That fish from SpongeBob became way funnier after that. Tried taking my condom off by the tip of the rubber instead of the base and ended up snapping my tip. Not sure if stupid, but as I was finishing I yelled, I love you very much. My wife and I had been trying to conceive with little luck. It occurred to me that when young children ask where babies come from, the explanation usually starts with when a mommy and daddy love each other very much. I figured it couldn't hurt our chances. My wife was feeling really frisky one night and was telling me she wanted me. I tried to, in my sexiest voice, to sound all turned on and blurted, do you want some wiener sex? Needless to say, no, she didn't want wiener sex. What she said to me, I want to blow your brains out. What she meant, I want to blow your mind. I brought home a girl from a bar one night. She was on top. and asked me if I liked it rough. I said something like, yeah, baby. I had my eyes closed for a few seconds. And when I opened them, she had her fist cocked back, with a big shit-eating grin on her face. She clocked me in face closed fist, and then was surprised when I pushed her off. I should never have had said yeah. She said something along the lines of, you love my pussy, don't you? And I thought it would be funny to reply, it's alright.